Hey, my name is Magic, and if you probably haven't guessed from this video's title, this is a series dedicated to doing togue racing and grip racing in car parking multiplayer. Now, you may be wondering why someone would take this sort of thing seriously enough to make a YouTube video about it when drifting and drag is better, and that's pretty much the point of this series. It's to shed light on a niche side of the game that barely anyone explores due to it being saturated with a ton of videos, comments, and or shorts that basically invalidate such a specific discipline in motorsport with the whole power is everything ideology. I personally don't believe in that stuff because it ruins the fun of grip racing in this game, and seeing people fail miserably with a 1695 horsepower sports car isn't really a good look. Also, I found the topic fun to talk about, so if you don't like it, watch some other YouTube channel or something, whatever floats your boat. Feel free to take this video with a grain of salt if you don't like it and you're still watching, however, because a majority of what will be said in this series comes down to personal experience, subjectivity, and research into the subject matter. Also, take note that this series could be used as a reference point for myself if I ever pick up grip racing in the future if I decide to uninstall this game, which I highly doubt that I will. So, here's a quick rundown of what togue racing is, and what I'll be explaining in this series in no particular order at the end to understand the way togue racing works in this game, as well as a walkthrough of how to set up your car for togue in low speed to high speed categories, which I may or may not do in the future. So let's get this out of the way and let's start. So, what exactly is togue racing? Toge, or togue, means pass in Japanese, with the mountain roads being created with various S-bends so the mountainous terrain could be conquered in Japan easily, because of course you'd have to do so. The road was designed this way due to Japan having mountainous terrain and most points of interest from local towns, so their landmarks are far away elevation-wise. However, this isn't to say that all cities, towns, and or landmarks in Japan are connected by these winding roads. A good reference for this exception is the Shitokyo Expressway in Tokyo, which is pretty much their biggest highway system so far. Originally, these routes were created for the simplicity of moving for commercial vehicles and commuters, and such roads has been taken as a serious interest by the motoring community, which leads us to points of media such as dashboard camera recordings of togue racing in Japan back in the 90s, shows such as Hot Version that dedicated their entire segment to cars built to tackle the winding backroads of Japan, to the hit anime Initial D, which is an animated adaptation of this subculture of the Japanese street racing scene. There's just a lot of bits of media out there that have this style of racing included, and you could probably find it in your favorite game too. So you don't need to look that far. Which leads us to car parking multiplayer. You see, this game was never originally intended to be a racing game just based on the name alone. However, over the course of 7 years, player-based feedback, and a buttload of contributions and microtransactions later, the game has changed drastically. And we now have a lot of cars in this game that essentially capture the spirit of Togue, and these cars are hella cheap in terms of the economy of this game. This doesn't mean to say that you can't run a supercar down the Togue though. In Togue racing, anything and everything is fair game, as long as you can actually drive. But if that's the case, why not just slap 1695 horsepower onto every car that you have in the game and call it a togue car? Well, you could, but it wouldn't be fun stomping the floor on every player who has horsepower numbers lower than you, and the thrill of togue racing comes from the exchange of skill involved in it, and not just how fast your car can get to 0 to 60. So, where should I start? Where should you start? That's where this video has to end, and for you to wait for the next video in the series. But for now, in no particular order, I'll be talking about following, and we'll probably add other bits of information on the fly as the series goes on if I see fit to do so. The following discussions moving forward will tackle what control setup is right for you, what transmission's right for you, the argument between analog and simple throttle, picking a car to drive, picking your drivetrain, tuning up your car, your suspension, your gearbox, and basically fine-tuning everything until you have something perfect. If you got all of that, consider yourself lucky, because depending on the subject matter, the videos might not even last too long, maybe a minute or two at best. However, with that out of the way, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe, and see you on the next video that I make for this series. Again, name's Magic, have a good one, peace, bye.